Hello and welcome back to a game of Dota 2 where we are watching the Rapture Gaming League. It will be the last game in the group stages and it will be a game between Titan and First Departure. Now this game has for Titan not that much value. For First Departure it means semifinals or quarterfinals. Titan already made it to the quarterfinals. They have no chance anymore to be seeded into the semifinals, which is only reserved for the top 2 of the group. First Departure, they are in a place where if they win this matchup, they will be tied for first place, and first and second place go to the semifinals. So semifinals is then going to First Departure regardless. They just have to have a tiebreaker match to decide to which bracket each team goes. So we'll see if they can make that come true. Of course, that would make sure that they play one extra or one less best out of 3 regardless. So if they make that, that would be very good for them. Let's take a look at what Titan has picked up first, because it is not a hero that we often see as first pick anymore, and especially not if there is still a Lich in the pool. Lich, a hero that's been banned out so often in the first banning phase that you'd almost expect it to be a first pickup, but Naga Siren, the one that Titan wants to go for and the one that they chose to run here. Mirana comes afterwards, no hesitation from Titan. They know what they want and they're actually forcing First Departure to use quite a bit of their bonus time, perhaps forcing them also to, well, to just make too hasty decisions. It could be some kind of strategy coming off from Titan. Naga Siren Mirana, I like the combination. There's an ensnare followed up by an arrow, and if you have a Riptide on there, those arrows are gonna hurt a lot. So I like the combination. Could be dual lane. Could be, of course, I mean, they don't even need to be with the 2 of them on the lane. I mean, Mirana can go solo lanes as well, go mid, go off lane, go safe lane solo, and then have an aggressive trialing with the Naga Siren elsewhere. There's a lot of possibilities here for Titan. As for First Departure, they've got a Clockwork and a Rubik. Now, these two have actually got a quite nice synergy going for them, because Clockwork can, of course, telekinese someone, and even if you're on the other side of the cogs, Clockwork or Rubik can telekinese someone. Rubik can put someone inside the cogs or outside the cogs. It's not always useful, but it definitely has a nice synergy to it. The bans for Titan were a Venomancer as well as a Lifestealer very early on, and now they remove all the jungle heroes with the Chen and Enchantress removed from the pool. First Departure, they ban out a bit more standard heroes, like the Timbersaw as well as the Visage. And now also the Crystal Maiden with the Alchemist banned out by First Departure, so they're still expecting a core coming out from Titan as well as a support, so we'll see. A hero that's still on the pool that we actually often see with the Mirana lately, or I see that often. Mirana Abaddon. Now, that's a dual lane that we mostly see on off lanes, but it's such a very safe lane that it is a great combination to have. It does mean that Titan will want to look for a carry that is ranged, and that fits because, for example, the Gyrocopter is one of those carries that gets picked up very often together with the Naga Siren, purely because of her cooldown, or his cooldown and her song, being able to synergize that up. I mean, I like Naga Siren, but I mostly like her for later on in the game if she has something to synergize with her ultimate, that is. So we'll see if Titan will make that happen. First Departure, though, they have the chance to pick up something first. And that pickup, well, they again take time in their bonus time. I mean, they only have 15 seconds left in that. Titan has not used a single second in their bonus time, and I would even suspect them of trying to pick a bit faster just to make sure that First Departure is going to be pressured and going to be making maybe mistakes because they make hasty decisions. The First Departure, they select their Queen of Pain, so they reveal their mid lane. Titan can, of course, anticipate on that one, and they actually pick up an Invoker in response to the Queen of Pain. Now, I have to say, Queen of Pain's harass should be... Like, Queen of Pain should be winning the mid lane up against an Invoker, but if Invoker goes for a Quas Wax build rather than for Exort, which is something that we actually have seen, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening, because of course you want to have that Quas, that's the blue balls, the Quas to, wow, sorry, you want to have the Quas to make sure that you are extra tanky and you regen health faster. Basically the last one. Disruptor picked up by First Departure. I actually think it's partly because of just denying it to the Naga Siren. As I said, the control coming off with that is pretty nifty. But also just because of that silence. A silenced Invoker, the only thing it can do is hit. and you know, at some point that starts to lose its value. You need to be able to spam out your spells if you're an invoker, and Disruptor can just stop you from doing that. So I like the pickup for First Departure Titan. Pick up the Undying. Now that's a hero that we haven't seen in a while, that I haven't seen in a while. I like him most in an aggressive trial, and to be honest, he needs to be in an aggressive trial and to make the most of him, because later on in the game, if he's not very farmed, he'll fall off. So either you have him in a carry role, in which case you can probably find different targets that are more successful in doing what he does, or you have to run an aggressive trial that is successful. Now that could still be the case. They could still have a safe solo lane, be that Mirana or be that something else, depending on if they want to have Mirana on that off lane. And then Naga Siren Undying with that one carry there on the aggressive tri lane. Not something that Dire sides often do anymore, and mostly aggressive tri lanes are reserved for the Radiant side because they've got that one extra camp that they can pull from. But still an option here for Titan, as they actually for the first time tick into their bonus time with the Luna now banned out after the Bane got banned out by First Departure, who apparently is expecting that Undying to take on a farming role. Now they could even put Undying in a farming role, have the Mirana as support, and then something else on the aggressive or on the safe lane solo. There's a lot of options for that. Mirana support has been used a bit more. I have to say I don't really like it. I think her potential is better if she is indeed a hero that gets, I mean, a number 2 role or number 1, some of those, or number 2 or number 1 and 2 and 3. Either one of those 3. Wow, English is hard. Anti-Mage picked up by First Departure, so they have secured themselves their tri lane. Looks to be a pretty simple lineup for First Departure, with the safe tri lane around the Anti-Mage with a Disruptor and Rubik to protect him, which are 2 very safe supports. Disruptor can glimpse somebody back and put down a kinetic field to make sure people can't cross, and even if someone does cross, there's going to be a Rubik to pick up the target and drop him back down somewhere else. Lone Druid now picked up for Titan, so that seems to be their solo lane. Now the only question will be who is going to be playing that Undying and who is going to be playing that Mirana. Which of those heroes is going to be taking the farm on the lane? As we are waiting for everybody to select their hero, Ice has already picked up the Mirana. Will mean that, net on the Undying, so that means that Mirana is going to be taking up that farm. Yep. KYXY is on his Lone Druid. And therefore I'm expecting him to be on the safe lane solo with an aggressive trial lane around the Mirana bottom. Invoker mid. If that aggressive trial lane fails, not that much harm done just yet, because as long as they at least slow down the anti-mage, they're doing okay. But if they indeed lose their bottom lane, their Undying is going to fall out of favor real fast, and they have to really rely on that Invoker and Lone Druid to bring home that win. Remaining. We'll take a look if they can do that as the pause comes out, because First Departure apparently not quite ready yet with picking up their heroes. But it does give us time to see what Titan is doing up here, because they've got Net playing the Undying, KYXY on his Lone Druid, X or Extinct playing the Naga Siren, Ohio play the Invoker, and Ice will be on the Mirana there, all on the Dire side, which is what Titan was appointed to. Now on the Radiant side, not everybody has picked up their heroes just yet, but there has been some questions about who this Clockwork is. That's his name. And it's actually a stand-in. As some of you might know, scripted, and was an official member of First Departure, but he's been banned from playing with First Departure after several racist comments, so they have to play with a stand-in, and they'll have the Clockwork here as a stand-in. He has his profile private, so this is all we know. That he is a Clockwork and he is a stand-in. Mid or feed is actually mean. So he'll be playing on the Anti-Mage with Hana playing the Queen of Pain, and that will leave Pelozon, who will be playing the Rubik here by the looks of it, Kai. They have been a bit awkward with their nicknames, but Kai will be playing the Rubik here, and Lobby will take on the Disruptor. So that's everybody at First Departure, as well as apparently their unpause was only fake. Gives us a bit more time to indeed check. Yep. Dying. No, like, you know, in a situation like this, especially when there is a pause going on, I mean, the First Departure could take this time to think about what they are going to be doing with their lineup, etc. And the same thing goes for Titan. And there, you know, there's this chance that there might still be a swap between either Ice and Net, or, well, mostly those two actually. So they could try to do that to try and throw their opponents off guard to make them think, well, okay, right now Mirana has taken the farm, but it's actually Undying if they swap. Not really expecting them to swap, but it's something that you have to keep in mind that we always have to watch out for. As is this one fun? Yeah, we'll use that one. Cool. As we have got another disconnect from Hana. I'm really hoping that aggressive Trial of Titan works out, because if a Mirana gets decent farm, I mean, he doesn't even need to get kills early on, but if he gets decent farm, then a Mirana is such a playmaker. Of course, those arrows have to hit. Ice, no pressure there, but a lot of pressure coming to you. If they make their offlane work, if they make their tri lane work, if that is indeed what they're going for, I mean, that's of course all speculation from my side. From like, they could still go for a lone druid on the suicide lane and have a safe tri lane. In which case, I would really be worried, because then Net is not going to be able to do that much with his Undying. But you know, it's still a possibility. But Mirana is a playmaker, and I really hope that she can get her foot solid on the ground and shoot some good arrows, even though it doesn't really make any sense because her feet never reach the ground because she's on a Panther. Ohio on the Invoker, also one of those heroes that could potentially make something happen there. Could potentially have an amazing start, even though up against Queen of Pain, I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see if that if he can do that, if he can be that playmaker. On the other side, First Departure is just going for a very safe game, and then hope that Queen of Pain and Clockwork do okay. And then have them get high levels and make sure that an anti-mage gets enough time to get big. And apparently someone's computer disconnected, so we have to wait for him to come back. And as for people, well, you know what? Yeah. Of course, once again, you're watching the Rapture Gaming League. The playoffs are actually coming in quite close. I can actually look that up a bit for you, as the playoffs will start on the 4th of December. Am I saying that right? Nope, on the 29th of November. There we go. It will be played, they will be played only in the weekends. So the 29th of November is going to be the kickoff of the playoffs, which is, of course, when I'm at DreamHack Winter, so I won't be able to cast that, just so you are aware. And yeah, as you should know, that if I'm not casting it, there's most likely not going to be English coverage for it. But if there is, keep an eye on my Twitter, because I will tweet that out. It could be that there might still be English coverage on the official Rapture Gaming stream, which is right now streaming Thai language, if I'm correct. We're waiting just for a computer to restart, which apparently does not have an SSD, because otherwise he would be back long before now, but this is definitely a sign of a wooden computer. And we kind of talked through the scenarios already of this this matchup. Now, of course, one thing that you also have to keep in mind is that for Titan, I mean, there's win or lose, they are still going to be fourth in the group. Nothing's going to change for them, regardless of their result. First Departure have a lot more pressure to try and make it to the win and try to get themselves a spot in the semi-finals rather than being going to the quarterfinals. There we go. Laughs coming out from the heroes. Camera, move. Did not find it funny at all. Whoa, what's that? Well, he purchased a lot and then sold them and then purchased them again, but he's got one smoke only. Unless he gave some to a courier. No, just one smoke for him. Okay, so we can have a look at how people are gonna divide things, as we already see Rubik moving on to place a ward. Hana should be moving middle. Quite surprised that she didn't already. We do have Clockwork moving. It looks like they're gonna try and dodge an aggressive tri lane there, but if this is indeed a dodge for an aggressive tri lane, Titan should be prepared. This might happen and therefore run their aggressive tri lane there. No. Lone Druid is already making his way over. The Bear is going to scout out the Disruptor first though, and when he does, look at the pings. They come off and they might just change their lanes around because of it. Might just turn around, and it looks indeed like that's going to be the case. He's not really knowing yet where he's going to go. Laning in this game is so important, especially for First Departure, who need that anti-mage to be doing okay, and for Titan of course as well, to make sure that their Undying is not going to be wasting his time. KYXY making his way bottom already. So this will be Titan granted their tri-lane, aggressive tri-lane. I guess the tri-lane from the safe tri-lane has some advantages. You've got a bit of, well, basically you've got a safer place because your tower is closer by. Should in theory be closer by, depending on how the block goes, which for the Anti-Mage actually went quite okay. So it's a very safe place for the Radiant to be here.
Denied.
We're gonna see if they can make their things happen. In the meantime, Lone Druid forces a Clockwork. This solo lane should be going the way of Clockwork at first, but as soon as that Lone Druid reaches level 5, and maybe even before that already, it should be the Lone Druid that gets ahead. The mid lane, it should be the Queen of Pain that get ahead, but we'll see actually. So far, Ohio is sitting quite comfortably in his harass, by the looks of it. There's no point picked up yet by Queen of Pain, no skill point, knowing not just yet if she needs to have a blink, or if she wants to have that Shadow Strike, or the Scream even, to try and take multiple last hits. We'll see who comes around ahead there later on. As an arrow will hit, but flies through. The telekinesis comes off there, and actually go in for some harassment. They have to be careful though. Undying does do his name justice early on in this game, but the arrow missing. I mean, it flew through. It didn't mean it hit, but yeah, you saw what happened. A bit of a random arrow. And with that blink there on the Anti-Mage, he should be feeling quite safe. There is no one's there. There's a Riptide. So they don't have anything to hold him in place unless an arrow hits. I do like Net though. Even though he's not going to kill off Anti-Mage, he knows that. He can force him away. And the longer that they slow this Anti-Mage down, the longer they have to play their own type of game. As the lane here on the bottom lane completely pushed out towards KYXY's tower. He's going to be having a good time here farming. And Clockwork should be just happy to get experience. Get harassed maybe a bit by a bear. In the meantime, Ohio sitting on 8 for 2 with Hana sitting on 10 for 3. Fairly even thus far. And perhaps he can get some more harassment coming in. But there's already a level on Quas on Ohio, so he should be getting that region up if he needs it. If he is indeed getting harassed. And he can harass quite a bit himself because he picked up Exort and his attack damage is higher than that of the Queen of Pain right now. So he should be able to dominate the lane in terms of last hits. The difference is actually not that big. Oh, it is actually. 70 3 damage versus 65. Looks like we have some supports rotating, by the way. I think that also Clockwork is gonna move it towards the top lane and give Anti-Mage a bit of farm on the bottom lane. Both supports now moving bottom, and with the blink there, Anti-Mage feels quite safe. He still has to be careful, especially now that Naga Siren has got that ensnare. But he still makes it out. He's still gonna be able to pick up some experience. Arrow gets dodged. Moves back just in time. 5 last hits now for this Anti-Mage, but he is gonna be planning to move bottom, I would expect. And then Clockwork can go top. Because the lanes, apart from mid lane, are not going favorable for first departure. And I mean, they're not even doing as well as I thought they would in this middle lane. Cold snap now on the Queen of Pain. Just harassment, but painful harassment. Forced to use a salve. And Ohio is just fine with this. In the meantime, looks like Undying gets a bit harassed out of the jungle by the Disruptor lobby. And his partner, Rubik. With the star ladder set. Haste rune up for the Queen of Pain. Now this could be scary. And not really for the Invoker, but she can now, if she pushes the lane out, she can actually rotate to a different lane and try to make something happen. And I would expect her to then try and go top, because Mirana, even though she is, you know, on the safe lane, she's one of those heroes that she needs a lot of farm. She overall needs, like, if she is in need on the safe lane, if she's been run as a hard carry, she'll always need more farm than her opponents. Oh, and snare, arrow, sunstrike, they go for it, they go for the Anti-Mage. Is there enough damage? He looks to blink away, the Starstorm comes in, but he gets away. Stick charge is helping him out. 50 health is all that it took. Haste rune for the Queen of Pain, as he's not going to get anything off it. I was thinking if he went top with that, wait a second, telekinesis, kinetic field, doesn't get locked inside of it because of those cogs. Gets pushed out of there, looking for an entangle, finds it on the Clockwork. Undying there as well, might only be level 2, but definitely can help out here. But it looks like Clockwork, with those bottle charges, will be ending up living. Perhaps they can get Lobby instead, who's level 2 as well. Goes for a kinetic field. The bear can't get it. The Sunstrike, oh, creeps to help share the damage. That's gonna be no dead Disruptor, as Net this time is gonna be under siege. Anti-Mage came in to help out. Another decay coming through. The Rubik, he is gonna be the first one to die, with KYXY picking up the gold. Net will go down after him, but at least the first blood is not in the hands of the Anti-Mage, who was the one to take the kill on the Undying. Mid or feed, or otherwise known as Mean, gets himself a kill, but KYXY's Lone Druid gets the first blood on the bottom lane. Massacre happening. Hookshot comes in, not over just yet. The flare, it's enough. The Clockwork, big plays from the stand-in. Gets himself KYXY still, meaning it is now 2 for 1 on that bottom lane. And perhaps with that, wow, Anti-Mage, just be careful here. With that, they might force some rotation out from Titan. I mean, I'm expecting Anti-Mage to want to stick bottom, even though he, of course, will want to regen first. But wants to stick bottom to try and get his farm there, leaving the top lane as it is, because he's not getting that much last hits over there. Yeah, I'm thinking that would be a good change for him. In the meantime, Ohio, 26-8. Hana, 25-12. Even middle lane for sure. But one go from either of the two could mean a difference instantly. Especially with all the mana up on the Queen of Pain. Sonic Wave, of course, one of the big damage dealer. Arrow gets dodged here by the Rubik. Maybe Lone Druid can get some entangles. Nope. Doesn't get it. Looks like Ohio got some backup here. Net, level 3 right now. No, just passing through. He's got a ward, we'll place it. And actually, you know, one of the downsides of running a tri-lane at the moment, I mean, especially with all these dual lanes going on, are the levels of the supports. Naga Siren is doing really well, especially since she got some farm by herself here on the bottom lane. But she's the same level as Mirana, who's almost level 6. Undying, on the other hand, is level 3. Now we'll take a look at First Departure. They are doing even a bit worse with a level 2 and a level 3 support. As an ensnare comes out, will not hit because the blink was first. Mean will get himself away on that Anti-Mage. As Clockwork goes down by the hand of the Invoker. Was it actually? Yeah, that was here. Tombstone comes out to help out with that. An Evoker with the last hit. Gonna assume that Clockwork went for a hook as it is on cooldown. Hit the hook. Great for him, but then hooked into his death as there was a tower around there. 3 heroes now middle. Next to or 4 for Archer, 2 next to Hana. Lobby and Kai. This Anti-Mage is trying to hide here on the bottom lane. The aggressive trial lane rotated. And they don't want to let that Anti-Mage farm. Support's coming in though to help. Net's still invisible, we'll see one. Lobby is going to be the first one here. Gets a Sunstrike on his head and an arrow to finish it off. The Ice will take the kill. Telekinesis doesn't really make that big of a difference anymore. But at least make sure that Ruby can get away. Moonlight Shadow will actually cover their exit here. Cover their escape as Anti-Mage is just still farming. He has to be so careful though because there is still some mana up on these players. Still an Ensnare, still an arrow, still a Tombstone. And he knows this, so he is very careful here. Having its supports around him again makes him feel a bit more safer. I say supports, but actually Clockwork is one of them. He has a hookshot ready. They only have a sentry here though, which by the way, this is a brilliant place for ward. So they have got a ward there, they see the Mirana. But this is a brilliant place because normally you'd always play the sentry of your, like on the side of Titan, on around that place, because you're expecting a ward to be around here. So this one is very cleverly placed. Hana in the meantime still not rotating, 41 to 16, sitting on level 8 with Ohio, sitting on 38 for 14, so still fairly even. As Anti-Mage actually goes down bottom, the dive was there. Mirana leaped herself into the trees, but the arrow was there. Anti-Mage not getting enough help. No Clockwork there to help him either, he already backed off. So missing that one. And with this Tombstone on, and zombies constantly spawn, they are getting a go on the tower here. And they might actually be able to take it down. In this duration, I think they should be able to. But the fortification comes out, they're trying to delay it, but they are not trying to stop it. They're not rotating bottom, apart from Anti-Mage who's just gonna wait until they take the tower and get away so that he can continue farming. I mean, he can't really farm top right now because of the Lone Druid hanging around there. You can't farm middle because Queen of Pain is still around there. And at this point in the game, First Departure should be, in my opinion, trying to create more space for the Anti-Mage. It sounds so simple, it's actually not. Obviously they want to create space for the Anti-Mage. But one of the main things that I think could create space is the Queen of Pain rotating, but she is still middle. Perhaps they need to go just with a couple middle, take down the Invoker, make sure that he is not left alone, because of course that's something that Hana doesn't want to have. But her and Clockwork can definitely create space on the map. Just the question is, how much risk do they want to have involved in that? Anti-Mage continues farming bottom. His tread's now complete, 22 for 2. And we can see in the net worth that he is second highest for his team on net worth. Oh, Clockwork. Hello. Come on, they can see each other. No, they did not. They didn't see each other. They ensnared the Sunstrike. Anti-Mage will still blink himself away. And Cog's actually up on ice. That's gonna be Mirana, the one to go down. Anti-Mage makes himself out of there. Sorry for that vision thing, but that was, like, one was standing there, the other one was standing there. They could not see each other just because of that one tree. Nicely done for either of them, but in the end, it is of course better done by First Departure, who did have a backup plan for Anti-Mage this time. I mean, he is still forced back to base. He still needs to heal up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But at least he doesn't die this time, which is gonna be a nice change for him. But big difference for net worth. I mean, for example, Lone Druid, we haven't really seen him involved in that many fights just yet, apart from that one on the bottom earlier. With some nice entangles. But this Lone Druid is getting decent farm and has a Hand of Midas and will get out of control if First Departure doesn't make Titan move. Doesn't make Titan defend, doesn't make Titan rotate and waste time in doing whatever First Departure wants them to do. But as of this moment, I mean, First Departure is playing Titan's game. Titan is the one to hold the grip on this game, and First Departure need to change that around, need to struggle their way out of the grip. Need to get their own hold on this game, as we have got the gold grab very far in favor of Titan. There's only one tower down though, but 6k already in Titan's favor with the experience grab sitting at 4k. Might have Extinct in a bit of trouble here. Galim's back into the hands of the Rubik. In comes the Song. There's also an Invoker around. Moonlight Shadow coming in. Invoker force-stabs himself away. Actually gets a cold snap off on the Rubik. Hookshot in actually still hits. The Moonlight Shadow is about to end. Sonic Wave, Deafening Blast will help out. Is he in time? Nope, he goes down. Clockwork with the kill. And the Rubik still picked off by the Forge Spirit. So that was a bit of a awkward death there for the Rubik, who didn't really have to deal with the Invoker himself, apart from the cold snap. So good kill for Ohio, but not worth dying for in the end.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In the meantime also, Titan makes sure that they get something in return for that skirmish mid, so they push down the tier 1 top, and Net is almost having his mechanism complete, or I say almost. Just needs the recipe and 200 gold for the recipe of the headdress. Rubik level 5, still the support struggled to get their levels. Level 5 also still on the Disruptor, and they need that Static Storm just to silence off that Invoker. It's such a big deal. And the gold graph keeps dropping. I mean, that free farming Lone Druid, once he starts taking down towers, you have to do something against it. They can't afford not to. And Anti-Mage, 14.5 minutes in, only has Treads and a Ring of Health. That is it. The Courier is holding nothing of his, only a Tango, which is not really going to help anybody at this point. 1800 gold on the Queen of Pain. Curious to see what item she goes for first, because I wouldn't mind seeing an Orchid up on first departure. And I don't mind who gets it, as long as it's someone who initiates. So I guess I do mind who gets it. So it should be Clockwork or Queen of Pain. And an Orchid, of course, I mean, it's not only great up against the Invoker, which is the main target, I would think, for that Orchid, but also the Mirana, making sure that she can leap, making sure that you turn your Queen of Pain into a bit more of a ganking machine, which she needs to be to buy time for that Anti-Mage to farm up. Oh, Extinct Arrow will fly, will actually hit up on the Clockwork. Kinetic Field comes out straight away to at least keep the Clockwork safe. I say that as the Sunstrike comes down on him, but he makes it out alive. Top lane in the meantime, looking for entangles on the Queen of Pain. Oh, he finds it actually. This could be trouble. Queen of Pain will still be able to blink away, but I mean, that go was done purely by the Queen of Pain. I love this. No, Anti-Mage is oh, they're not gonna go for it. The leap actually did not hit. Sunstrike, not gonna hit on the Anti-Mage either. In the meantime, on the top lane, we did actually have a Tombstone go up. Queen of Pain blinks away, but it looks like she's not gonna be making it. That's gonna be 1-for-1 trade. Lone Druid was the first one to die to the Clockwork. As they go on the neutrals. It was a nice effort. It was a bit awkward leap from the Mirana. I mostly like that they were standing there taking the experience from the big stack. Because of course the experience gets shared no matter who gets the last hit. But in the end, it's a 1-on-1 trade on top lane. Lone Druid going down there is actually a pretty big deal. He did not have his relic just yet, and he gets slowed down for it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And if that happens, first departures bind themselves more time. They need to be doing this, and giving up a Queen of Pain for it is not even that bad of a deal. As Queen of Pain actually picked up an ultimate orb. So no Orchid coming off from her. Maybe some more control items regardless, but more expensive ones regardless also. So we'll see if she gets the time. So far, Queen of Pain, Hana is still the highest farmed hero on the map. Sunstrike will get dodged. Highest farmed hero on the map on a set of first departure, that is, because obviously you can see that there's still 3 higher than her, which are all on Titan. But she is highest for her team. There is an Anti-Mage that is still trying to find his Battle Fury. We are already 17.5 minutes in, and he is still so incredibly far off. It is scary. First departure is not the one to make advances here. I mean, the fights that do happen all happen on the side of First Departure. They are the ones to defend their lands rather than to create mayhem on the side of Titan. Maybe try to go for a 4-man push, go take the top tier 1 tower, and if people come to defend, then move middle instantly and take down the tier 1 middle, as we have got an arrow, a sunstrike, a song, and a snare, Surstorm, everything going down on the face of the Queen of Pain, who has to die if it is up to Titan. They will also take a tier 1 tower, which is the last tier 1 tower standing on the side of First Departure. And with that, they take even more control of the map. And I know that everything I said about First Departure trying to make things happen, I mean, at this point, it is very difficult to do. It is very difficult to find themselves in a position that they can actually take something, can actually win a fight from Titan, but they need to try. Need to try to distract Titan from that anti-mage. Need to get him farmed, because otherwise there's just not going to be any hope to it. And we saw in the previous game actually that when the anti-mage there had very low farm and just had a very tough early game, he actually skipped Battle Fury and went for a Yasha and then for Mantis Style. This anti-mage, even though he's been delayed so heavily on his Battle Fury, he still wants to have it. And you know, Battle Fury is a nice item for an anti-mage, but after the Battle Fury you still need to have about, well, let's say 10 minutes to get enough farm to actually be able to fight. Because the Battle Fury alone won't be doing it, as the tower goes down in the middle lane. That's the first tier 2 tower. Arrow will miss. Nice try. Titan. All of them here in the middle lane. They don't have a Radiance just yet, but they have got the recipe for it, and they actually have it now. If he wants to, which he does, which he should want. Oh, the courier is bringing it towards him. Never mind. Farm, anti-mage, farm. He has actually surpassed the Queen of Pain in terms of net worth. That's you know, good things. Well, you can consider it good or bad, because of course Queen of Pain has been getting killed a bit, but overall it's a good change. As Queen of Pain, I think, is just a bit slightly overconfident there. There's a lot of people around there from First Departure though. And if Titan makes a mistake here, that could be their undoing. In comes the cold snap, the ensnare, never mind. That's Queen of Pain already dead. The hookshot still hits, but Clockwork knows he has to get out. Kinetic field, static storm, Rubik already dropped. It will slow down Titan, that kinetic field, but Lobby still will be picked off by Ice. That's gonna be 3 dead on the side of First Departure. And Titan, well, they don't really show any sign of struggle apart from lower mana bars. They didn't get the anti-mage, who is still farming. Ice will find him farming. Just send some arrows to harass him away. And this time Titan doesn't get anything off the back of that fight. Don't get any... Well, actually, never mind. They get the Roshan. I was gonna say they already took the tier 2 tower, so they don't take that one anymore. But taking the Roshan is even better. Because with this Roshan, they have to feel no fear of walking up that high ground. Smoke up instantly, going into that Radiant jungle. I mean, of course, there's already a tier 2 tower down on the mid lane, but taking down the tier 2 before, tier 2 bottom before moving on and pushing bottom will allow them to also, if their fight is successful, of course, granted, they have to first get that one, but then they don't have to back off after taking one lane. They can actually take another lane of racks if they are indeed successful in their fight, which they hope to be. Everybody hopes to be that. An Aegis, a Radiance, the mechanism is there. I mean, all these items on Titan, I mean, they're not even that many. I mean, for example, I mean, Invoker has a lot of gold, 2600, but he only has a 4-staff treads and a medallion. So apart from the Radiance, it's not looking too bad for them, even though they've got themselves a Lincoln Sphere for Mirana. That's going to be one big item for them, but... Oh, wait a second. That's the Queen of Pain dropped to the floor. And snare, arrows... Ice still taking a lot of damage from the Sonic Wave, but makes his way back home and will be fine after that one. In the meantime, a gank appears to be happening here on top. No, TP out from the Clockwork and mid or feed. Or Mean just continues farming because he knows that he needs to. Everything is riding on his back. He's got his Battle Fury. 22 minutes in. This is the time where he is, like, how much time does he need to get his Mantis Style, for example? I would say he needs 10 minutes to get himself, not just the Mantis Style, but just ahead enough to be able to fight back. to be able to fight Titan. And I would think that Titan in that time would already have tried to go high ground. I mean, they're ahead right now. Why wait? Why try to waste time? They've gotten ages. They're almost 20k gold ahead compared to the first departure. And first departure also not ahead in experience, because that also is going the way of Titan. Actually towards the 14k experience in favor of Titan. And Titan indeed making their way middle. We also have the Naga Siren, who's quite far behind but still making her way over. The only one that's really missing here. There's still a fortification. Telekinesis comes up from a creep, just stunning the bear is all that he wanted to do. They don't want to use the fortification just yet. Perhaps when they go on the racks, then they want to use it. Perhaps they want to take a fight first. When Naga Siren is here, they could try to set things up. Naga Siren support actually with a Vanguard. Interesting item. And Rubik trying to steal a spell from Iran. I couldn't get it. As the Rax will get... Yeah, the song came in. The arrow will hit nicely on time. Then Hannah will get picked off. Kinetic Field is still there. Static Storm as well. The hook shot in only reaches Forge Spirits. And it is a buyback for Queen of Pain that forces Titan back to the low ground. They still do some damage to the towers as the dust comes off. Hits on some people. Hits on some players of Titan. The Moonlight Shadow is no longer protecting them. The song comes in from the Rubik so that he can get away out of his prison of... Well, his prison of zombies and his prison of snares. Clockwork will be the one to get picked off. Still, another kinetic field comes in, but it doesn't matter. Titan does not want to move. They want to take down Rax, and in comes another ensnare. Up on the Queen of Pain, who will go down for the second time this fight. She bought back already, goes down again, and this looks to be the end of it. This looks like Titan is gonna be victorious here, and therefore make sure that there would not be a tiebreaker, because that is the answer to the win of Titan, should they indeed be able to get that going, which at this point looks like they are. And also with Titan winning, they would make their former organization very happy, which is Orange. There goes the GG. And the reason why they make Orange very happy with this is that now it is Myth, Trust and Orange that will be seated directly into the semi-finals, with Titan as well as First Departure being kept down. And we'll be playing in the quarterfinals, not by themselves, of course, and I believe also not against each other, but they will be against both Mineski and Awake. Oh, sorry, both in the Mineski and Impervious, if I'm correct with that one. So, Myth Trust, First Departure, Orange Esports, Titan, Mineski, and Impervious will be the teams that will make it to the playoffs that start next weekend. And that's, of course, all for the Rapture Gaming League, which has started a very long time ago. For the playoffs, I will be casting as much as I can, but I cannot promise anything, as I will also have other obligations, and this is not really an obligation for me. So, glad to have you with me nonetheless, though. Thank you for joining me. Happy to be able to bring you this coverage of this match, and of course, I'm thinking you have about 1.5 hours to make food, make snacks, get your popcorn ready, and just, do everything that you need to do to be able to get everything, sorted around your PC, so you don't have to leave the environment of your PC anymore, because at 5 p.m. CT time, which is in about 1.5 hours, MLG will kick off with their playoff bracket, starting off with Sigma International versus Pete, followed by DK versus Navi, and then the winners of that taking on each other. So I'm definitely gonna watch that one, gonna watch those, and I'm hoping, well, you're at least gonna be doing the same, or otherwise gonna have very good plans as well. There we go. Thank you for watching. Feel free to support by following my Facebook, following my Twitter, or just liking Facebook, following Twitter, following Twitch, subscribing to YouTube, or subscribing to Twitch. So that's all under the same name of Shiver Gaming, so you can do that one. Thank you for being here, and have a good day.